NHL players have crazy secrets they don't want you to know about. Here are 10 things you didn't know about your favorite NHL stars. And first, I bet you didn't know Connor McDavid's parents have been lying about his age all along. Yeah, ever since getting into the league, McDavid has been making grown men cry on the ice.
Rangers having trouble changing here. McDavid, beautiful move.
And after seeing what he's been doing to the best players in the world, you can just imagine what he was doing to the kids his own age. Connor's parents knew they had to do something, or these minor hockey games would turn out to be manslaughters. So, they had a brilliant idea that would make things better for both Connor and the other kids. They went to the coaches and straight up lied about Connor's age, just so he would be brought up to play with the older kids. Damn, that's actually genius. But being brought up to play with the older kids is nothing compared to how Cale Makar was brought up to play in his NHL debut right after losing the hardest game of his career. Makar was in the locker room in Buffalo after just losing the NCAA national title game with the University of Massachusetts when his dad came to him breaking the news. The Colorado Avalanche wanted him to make his NHL debut in their next playoff game against the Flames in Denver. Makar signed his NHL contract in the hotel, and the next morning at 8 a.m., his dad picked him up to go to the airport. But Makar's flight was delayed, which meant he wouldn't be able to make it to Denver in time. But luckily, the Avs balled out and bought Makar a first-class ticket to a flight from Toronto, just to make sure their prospect got to home safely. And the investment turned out to be worth every penny, because just under 48 hours after playing in the NCAA national title game, Makar scored his first NHL goal.
Full time with Landeskog and McKinnon as Makar jumps in, moves it in, shoots. Kale Makar! Welcome to the National Hockey League!
That goal helped the Avs win the game and take a 2-1 lead in the series. But at number 8, 4 future NHL superstars lived under the same roof. Yeah, in 2014, Toronto selected their future star winger, William Nylander, with the 8th pick. Nylander was from Sweden, so he needed a place to stay in Toronto before the Leafs training camp. That's when, at the time, an unknown hockey family with 3 talented young boys offered him a place to stay for 3 weeks. And just like that, Nylander became roommates with Quinn, Jack, and Luke Hughes, who all 3 later also got drafted to the NHL in the first round. Damn, 4 first-round picks under one roof. Just imagine how crazy the games have been. The chances of becoming friends with another future NHL star as a kid are slim. But the chances of future NHL star being friends with a future NBA star are even slimmer. And that's just what happened to Matthew Tkachuk. Because at number 7, Tkachuk's childhood friend is actually balling out in the NBA. When Matthew was a teenager, his dad played in the NHL with the St. Louis Blues. So their whole family also moved to St. Louis. There, Matthew went to high school called Chaminade, where he met his new classmate and future NBA superstar, Jason Tatum. Naturally, as the athletes of the school, Matthew and Tatum instantly became friends. They even filmed this group project together.
Hi, my name is Jason Tatum, and one reason I came to Chaminade was because of sports. Mainly basketball. Hi. Another reason why I came to Chaminade because of great people and great fans like Graham Niemeyer, Jack Sponer.
I love basketball.
Novelli and Matthew Tkachuk. Great guys.
Matthew and Tatum both knew they would be stars in the future. Tkachuk said that they even planned out becoming each other's agents when they grow up. Yeah, that's wild. But not even close to as wild as Brent Burns' lifestyle. Because this guy is literally living with wild animals. Yeah, I wish I was joking. When Burns was playing in Minnesota, his teammates wouldn't even come close to his house because it was full of dangerous animals. I'm talking snakes, lizards, exotic fish, turtles, more dogs than a man could ever need, and even birds. My man even has a freezer full of rats just to feed his snakes.
How many snakes do you have in here? Probably around 40.
But all those animals still wasn't enough, because after getting signed to San Jose with a life-changing contract, Burns needed something to spend his money on. And of course, animals was the first thing on the list. But this time, he didn't settle for a house full of pets, because this guy bought a big-ass ranch in the middle of wildlife in Texas, where Burns spends his summers training, hunting, and hanging out with his animals. And well, those he got lots in there. Deer, bisons, and even zebras. Yeah, this guy out here really building his own zoo. I mean, whatever helps you perform on the ice, I guess. But at number 5, this next star made a performance so crazy, the NHL had to drug test him. Yeah, Auston Matthews was drafted first overall in 2016, which made the whole city of Toronto hyped for the future, because apparently, this guy was the next big deal. But nobody could even come close to guessing what would happen when Matthews stepped on the NHL ice for the first time. Hold up, 4 goals? That's one of the most legendary performances ever. And doing all that in your first ever NHL game. Of course, the league thought something was up. There was no shot a normal human being was going this off. So just the next day, the NHL hit Matthews with a randomly selected drug test. But of course, my boy Auston came out clean. But what makes this all even crazier is that at the start of this season, it happened again. Matthews started the season on fire again, this time scoring back-to-back hat tricks in the first 2 games of the season. And right after the second game, he was hit with the drug test again. Yeah, Bettman just won't believe Matthews is not on gear. But did you know Matthews almost never even became a hockey player? You know, Austin's dad, Brian, played baseball growing up until an injury ended his career in college. So naturally, Auston was raised in a baseball family. And that's why his dad also made Matthews play baseball as a kid, hoping that he'd one day reach the MLB. Auston's dad also told that as a kid, Matthews was actually better at baseball than he was at hockey. But fortunately for us, Matthews thought baseball was a little too slow paced for him. And at 13 years old, he made the decision to switch fully into hockey. And looking at him now, I bet his dad is also pretty pleased with Auston's decision. But before we enter the top 3, you should subscribe to the channel. Just take a look at Matthews. Even he is subscribed. Anyway, at number 3, the only reason David Pastrnak became an NHL star was because the closest person to him died. When Pasta was little, he had a very close relationship with his dad. His father was a former hockey player and coach in Czech Republic. And since the day Pasta was born, his father made his mission to get him to the NHL. Seeing his son someday playing with the best players in the world was Pasternak's father's only wish. And everything was going just according to his father's plan until tragedy struck. A year before his draft while playing in Sweden, Pasta got the worst news of his life. His mom called to tell him that his father had lost his battle to cancer and had passed away that night. Pastrnak was devastated. He flew back home to Czech Republic as soon as possible to attend his father's funeral. After the funeral, Pastrnak made a final promise to his dad. He promised that next summer, he would get drafted to the NHL. And ever since that moment, all Pasta did was train harder than ever before. And it all paid off. Because at draft night,
Proud to select from Sweden, David Pastrnak.
After getting drafted, Pasta kissed his hand and pointed to the sky to honor his father's wish. And he later also made that his trademark celebration. Man, that's beautiful. Almost as beautiful as Patrick Kane's mouth game. Cause this guy has made ridiculous amounts of money with his mouth guard. Yeah, Kane is always seen chewing his mouth guard while playing, which has led to it becoming his trademark. And after he was featured in the NHL 10 cover, chewing his famous mouthpiece, thousands of kids around the world wanted to be like Kane and started buying mouth guards to chew on. That's when Kane's marketing team saw a huge opportunity, and they started selling Kane's signature mouth guards. And man, they sold, because Kane was able to make over $25,000 just in the first month alone. That's crazy, but not as crazy as number 1. Because Patrick Kane was actually featured in a hockey card first time when he was only 6 years old. Yeah, most NHL stars get their rookie cards printed when they are 18. But Kane got his in 1994 when he was only 6 years old. Growing up in Buffalo, Kane was a huge Sabres fan. His dad took him to the games, and that's how he fell in love with the sport. And one night, Kane and his father had bought tickets in the front row. During the game, they happened to get into a photographer's shot that was eventually printed as a Sylvan Turgeon trading card. And many years later, when a reporter showed the card to Kane asking if he was in the picture, Kane was shocked and instantly bought the card. That's actually wild. But not even close to as wild as a Jumbotron crashing onto the ice. And I know you want to hear all about that, so just click here before it goes away. Man, just click it so I don't have to beat your ass.